Hey everyone, welcome back and Happy New Year. So much to tell you about, but in this video I'm going to be talking about doing a one-man show. Why would you want to do a one-man show? And that was a question I was asked a lot when I was doing Shadow Dreamer. Now, it just so happens that probably one of my favourite composers and lyricists is in London at the moment doing his one-man show. And I just had to get the opportunity to speak to him. Now, I'm sure a lot of you are going to know it's Scott Allen. And Scott's been a massive influence on me in my career and definitely in what I've done in the last couple of years. And his songs are just, there's just nothing like them. I'll put the links in the section below so that you can have a look at some of his stuff. And also remember to like, share, comment and subscribe on all these videos. Thank you and enjoy the interview, because I sure did. Here is the man, Scott Allen.
The man.
The man. Okay, Scott, first of all, a one-man show, why?
I've done everything else. I think, it got to a point of my career where, and I've always sort of been like this, where I've done everything on my own, and I've released all my own albums and produced them myself and funded them myself. No one's ever hired me to do anything or asking me to write musicals for them, so why not write a musical for myself? And so I thought it was about time. So I had worked on it for a period of time, and then when they asked me to come here to do some concerts, I said no. And then they asked, is there anything that I could do the reason with them? And I said, maybe I could do this show.
Okay. Have you been surprised by some of the responses from people who've seen your show? I've been looking online, and there's been people have said beautiful, touching, raw, amazing. Have these responses surprised you?
It's going to sound egotistical to say this, but no, they're not, because it is raw. And what I've learned from the show itself is that, and I say it at the end of the show, but now it has such a definitive meaning, which is it's not my show, it's our show, because I get to tell mine in the first half, and then I come out and talk to everyone, and then I learn everyone else's journey, and people sit with me, or I come home and there are letters and letters waiting just to start me from the very start of their life, and I read them all. So it's an experience, and I'm putting everything I have into it, and it's been 2 weeks. I'm not a singer, so for me to sit at a piano and sing, and then on top of that emotionally layer myself, all I do is I sit in my hotel room and I sleep. Don't talk all day. This is the first time I'm talking today, so just to get through the night, because as you know, it's 2 hours of singing.
Yeah, it's a lot of work, isn't it? Did you have fears professionally about being, and I've seen all of your shows, so I know that you're always honest and open, but did you have fears professionally about doing this, because this is really putting everything out there? So how, was the fears about that?
There's no fear that went into doing this. The only fear that I ever had about it was that maybe I wasn't being as honest, and so I had to really make a decision early on, which was I made my PowerPoints and my script, and then I go off of it.
Yeah.
Every night is a completely different show, and for me, it's just about being as raw and impassioned as possible, because I never want to be holding anything back. So that would probably be my biggest fear, was that I would be missing something. And there's always something missing, because people from the audience will say, well, what happened here? What happened there? And I'm like, give me, this is not Harry Potter Part 1 or Part 2. We only got so much time. So, but I put in the things that show the structure of where a lot of things fell into place, and a lot of my parts of my life changed, and hopefully the audience is seeing that, which it seems they have, which I've been very fortunate about.
Have you noticed a difference in the way that people talk about and deal with depression here in the UK from in the States?
Oh, it's night and day. I mean, no, none of you guys talk about it. And the funny part is, a lot of times people will say to me, or I'll get an email from someone that's like, I didn't want to say it in person. but that was my story. Like, you just said my story. And I'm like, say it in person. When I was hugging you, when I was holding on to you. And sometimes I'll hold someone, because I love to hug people. Sometimes I'll feel the hug and I'll feel the shake begin.
Yeah.
And I'll say, let it out. Just let it out. Let it out. And they will. And they're like, it's the first time. And they haven't even said I'm dealing with depression. But you know what they're trying to say.
Yeah.
And they go with it. So, yeah, in America, we're like literally hopped up on every antidepressant in the world, and our uncles are all therapists, even if they're not therapists, So, we're very different there. We're okay talking about mental health. Not to say that it's not still a stigma. There is still stigma. I still have the stigma, I've had people come to shows and concerts that I've done that I had just started dating, and they'll come, and in my head I'll be like, oh no, like, what are they going to think? And sometimes they do have a problem with it, and those people get weeded out quickly.
So, how does it feel to be such an inspiration to so many people? Because, like, I know you through theatre, first of all.
Yeah.
So, I know so many people follow you for your music, but also now you have this following of people that have depression or have had depression, who know that there's somebody out there talking for them, and so you are a huge inspiration for people. How does that feel?
It's so strange, because I never really feel like an inspiration for people. I feel like they're their own inspiration. Because ideally, I'm just planting a seed for them that they've already started to grow, and I go with it now. Be aware, be okay with it. There's nothing wrong with medication. There's nothing wrong with talking with someone.
Yeah.
So I don't really see myself as an inspiration. Others may, but I never really looked at myself as someone who's inspiring others. I'm just opening up a form of dialogue, and if that does something, I'm blessed, because the stories that I receive back are just as inspiring to me, and the audience really does inspire me. I mean, there's days when I can't get out of bed and I receive these letters and I wake up to them, and it just gives me the fuel. And it's not egotistical letters that are like, you're amazing. It's their stories and how they get through them, and that's what inspires me and gets me out of bed. So I feel inspired by others. So people feel inspired by me, great. I think we all sort of inspire each other to keep surviving and live our day to day and make the most out of what we can with it. And it's not always going to be great. Sometimes you won't get out of bed, and that's okay. And I've said it. Just next day, try to get your foot out, and if you can, stay in bed. Third day, try to get your foot out. Just keep making it a cycle until you're finally able to do it.
What's the one thing that you hope people will take away with them after watching the journey? If you had to pick one thing.
Survival.
Yeah, that's perfect, isn't it? It's for me as somebody coming to see it. That's definitely what it's about. So
survival.
Obviously, I'd said previously that what my connection with Scott was, but Scott doesn't know. So I wanted to tell Scott. Basically, it was 2008. I was on YouTube and I was looking through songs, and I found a woman called Natalie Rice. Never heard of her before, and she was singing a song by a guy called Scott Allen. Never heard of him before. And
he's very handsome.
He is very handsome, he is. But this song was called I'm a Star, and as a performer and as somebody that had been out of it for a while, I listened to the words of this song and I was just like, I don't know if you've ever had it, it's like a switch. Somebody flicks that switch, and like I'd had this one-man show idea in my head, but I never had the confidence to say somebody's going to want to hear my story, somebody's going to want to know about my life, because I'm sure you felt it as well. You just thought, well, it's just our life. Mm-hmm. It's just my life. Why would it be interesting to anybody? But I heard that song, and I am more than the average no one. Let me sing for you now more than just 16 bars. If you give me the chance, you'll discover a star. Yeah, it flipped a switch for me. It really, really did. And so that for me was my connection with Scott. So that's always been there for me. So for me, there was a great inspiration.
Thank you. I'm glad to
For
hear that for
you,
you.
from
Well, you went on to do it.
I went on to do it. Yeah.
So I mean, again, that's where I say I wasn't the inspiration. You were just at a place where you're ready to hear. So you opened up your mind. You listened, and you said, "I'm not going to say a curse word. F this. It's time." And you did it.
But the music did help, which it does. I think
it was a platform for you to open up your eyes.
Yeah.
So the credit goes to you, not to me, because it was at the right place, at the right time for you to listen. All you have to do in this world, because we're so noisy, is listen. And when you're ready to hear, you will hear.
Scott's about to do his last show in London.
I am. One last one.
Last one.
Hope the voice lives up.
I'm sure it will. I'm sure it'll make me cry.
That I'm going to do.
That's
for sure.
definite.
Definite. Even if I have to punch him.
So thank you, Scott.
Thank you so much, and congratulations. When are you doing your show again?
No plans to do it again at the moment, but I said that, and then I ended up doing it in London last year. So
hopefully I'll be here next time you do it.
Yeah, hopefully.
Yeah.
Well,
I'm about to have fries and a Key Royale, so yeah.
Okay, thanks.
Thank you. Appreciate it.